So the man who has the most respect for women ever, Mr. Donald Trump, has canceled Michelle Obama's Let Girls Learn program, and this is effective immediately. Now, internal documents obtained by CNN direct Peace Corps employees not to use the Let Girls Learn name or branding. Now, they may continue some of the Let Girls Learn projects. The Peace Corps will no longer maintain a standalone Let Girls Learn program. Now, the initiative, which focused on educating girls around the world, was run primarily by the Peace Corps and the United States Agency for International Development. So I just want to give you guys a little context of its legacy. Now, in the 2 years since its formation, the program has invested at least $1 billion in programming in 50 different countries. Much of that funding came in the form of donations from more than 100 companies and 11 other nations, some of which gave up to $600 million. Now, the Obama administration had attempted to fortify the program last year, announcing $5 million in private sector donations to Let Girls Learn projects. So they were hoping that some of that would cushion the blow of the next administration, but unfortunately that is not the case. So this is really, really unfortunate and is just another notch in Trump's belt of the ways that he is running this administration basically at the cost of women around the world. But it's so interesting to me because even Melania Trump, during one of her speeches, said that she knew that education is the most powerful way to promote and ensure women's rights.
Yeah.
So why would they cut programming that does that?
Just as Ivanka Trump said in her recent speech that her dad's got so much respect for women because he treats his nice daughter nice, so that means he just treats everyone nice despite cutting funding for Planned Parenthood. Do you know what? I was actually going to just pose this to you guys really quick. I don't know, like, of course it's a typical sort of move we'd expect from Donald Trump. I guarantee there's probably some sort of, let's stick it to Obama in this as well. You know, like a same sort of like childish sort of insult that you would throw in there, like, we've got all this on the table that we can maybe take funding from and put it somewhere else and pretend that we're really helping the middle class, but really cutting taxes for the major corporations. But I bet he's probably looked at it and went, this will really annoy Obama. And this will annoy Obama if we specifically go after something so fantastic that Michelle Obama put forth to really install some
money. Melania should just put her name on it like she did for Michelle's speech.
Well, I think actually, I was like,
oh, it's the Melania Trump Let Girls Learn.
Well, I think that's a really good point because they say that you can't use the name or branding, but you can still continue the projects, which may indicate that they might be planning to do something similar.
No, they're replacing it with a new project. They're getting rid of Let Girls Learn. They're replacing it with Let Girls Get Sold into Sex Trafficking and Let Girls Serve Warlords. Because like that's the thing, that's the main, I mean that's a joke, but the main reason for this is there's still a shocking amount of countries where women aren't allowed to go to school.
Right.
And this gives them an opportunity, and there's a lot of risk. Like the Malala Foundation, those are the people who are trying to make a difference and change what a lot of folks in America take for granted.
No, I think you bring up a really, really good point. And so I want to sort of let the audience know a little bit more about what you're talking about. So girls' education is extremely crucial, right? So there are countries around the world where girls aren't allowed to go to school or where they're forced to drop out, whether it be because they go through puberty or they get pregnant or their parents need their help or something like that, or their parents don't have enough money to pay for them to go to school, and so they prioritize the boys in the family and things like that. But girls' education actually has a profound effect on not only the women who attend school, but the entire country. So you mentioned like human trafficking and sex trafficking and things like that. It also reduces the infant mortality rate. It reduces sexually transmitted diseases, but reduces poverty. But most importantly, for a businessman like Trump, when 10% more women attend school, GDP increases by 3% on average.
Yeah, I mean that
those
was
are like insane statistics.
That's responsible for a large increase in the GDP in America.
Right.
Like since women have joined the workforce, that is, I mean, it's a challenge now to raise the GDP because of how many women have joined the workforce, because like that was such a valuable thing to get them to do it.
Yeah.
Right. And it's encouraging when you hit the wall of like, oh, there's so many, all the women are working. I mean, not that they are, but
and you
know,
they do. When I did a little searching on the internet to find out kind of the general reaction, it's what you expect from conservatives who are just, oh, finally we're cutting away all this loose ends like that you don't need to be giving our funding towards, and it can go back towards middle class Americans for what their money needs. Like, when are these people gonna actually look online and find out exactly what this administration is doing and where they're cutting funds from and where they're looking to try and make their money back. Because the reason I bring this up is the recent article that I was looking at. It partnered this along with, why are people still complaining about marching for science and the money that we're taking back from the Environmental Protection Agency? And it should be going to middle-class Americans. Where are you getting that money from? I don't understand. If you're not read up and found out that Donald Trump is not giving you any tax breaks and these tax breaks are only going to be for major corporations, this myth that he's given back to middle-class Americans is still baffling to me, that people still buy into this shit and they don't understand that he's going to continue to cut from things that he doesn't believe relevant to him.
But Francis, I mean, even with this one particular program, I just, like in the second graphic, it was like much of the funding comes from donations.
Yeah, of course.
It's not like that's going back to the American people. He's just cutting the donations. So the message that we're sending to women in our country and around the world is like with the global gag rule and now cutting Let Girls Learn. So we're saying, nah, you just don't really matter.
We're not the Young Turks, you're the Young Turks. You power this show. Together, we built something amazing. We've broken stories like the Donna Brazile story the mainstream media wouldn't break. We built the studio, we built this network. It's now #1, all thanks to you guys. Let's come build it even bigger and stronger. TYTnetwork.com/join.